What if every fear, every struggle, wasn't a block, but a bridge? The Hermetic principle of polarity teaches everything is dual dash, two sides of one essence, light and dark, love and hate, success and failure. They are not enemies, but two sides of the same cosmic coin. In this episode, we unlock the hidden mechanics of duality, showing you how to turn tension into clarity, chaos into strength, and emotional extremes into pure fuel for growth. The principle of polarity and how to transcend opposites begin now. Part 1. The Law of Duality. Everywhere you look, the universe speaks in pairs, light and dark, hot and cold, up and down, male and female. This is the law of polarity, one of the foundational principles of Hermetic wisdom. It tells us everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. At first glance, this may seem obvious. We live in a world of contrasts, where opposites seem to be in constant battle. But the Hermetic masters saw something deeper. They taught that opposites are not truly separate. They are two extremes of the same essence. Let's look at temperature. Hot and cold seem opposite, but they are simply 2 points along the same continuum. Heat. There's no clear dividing line where hot becomes cold. It's all relative, just different degrees of the same thing. The same is true for light and dark. They are gradations of illumination. At one extreme, brightness, at the other, shadow. But both exist on the same continuum, light. This principle also governs your inner world. Think of love and hate. They feel like opposites, but emotionally they are deeply connected. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Love and hate are both intense emotional energies, sitting on the same spectrum of connection and passion. It's why someone you love deeply can trigger feelings of anger or hurt, because love and hate are polarities of the same force. In your personal growth, understanding polarity is a game changer. We often fight one side of a polarity, believing it's bad. We chase success, but fear failure. We seek happiness, but run from sadness. But Hermetic wisdom teaches you cannot have one without the other. They define each other. They give each other meaning. This isn't just philosophy. It's practical. Let's say you feel anxious. You might try to suppress that feeling, label it as negative. But through the lens of polarity, you see anxiety as heightened energy. The same energy that reframed becomes excitement. By shifting perspective, you transmute anxiety into fuel for action. This is the first glimpse of inner alchemy at work. Nature also reflects this truth. The tides rise and fall. The seasons shift from growth to decay. The moon waxes and wanes. Polarity is not conflict. It's rhythm, balance, the dance of existence itself. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into how polarity shapes your emotions, mindset, and everyday experiences, and how mastering this principle gives you the power to turn any challenge into transformation. Because true mastery doesn't come from escaping opposites, but from learning how to dance with them. Part 2. How polarity shapes your inner world. Polarity isn't just something you observe. In the outside world, it lives inside you, shaping your thoughts, your emotions, and the way you experience life. Every feeling you have, every reaction you experience, is part of a polarity dance. Take fear and courage. At first glance, they seem like opposites, but look deeper and you'll see. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's fear transcended. Without fear, there would be no need for courage. One defines the other. So when you feel fear, Hermetic wisdom teaches fear is not weakness. It's a signal, an invitation to summon your inner strength. Or consider confidence and doubt. We often think doubt is the enemy of confidence. But doubt sharpens awareness. It keeps you humble, prevents arrogance. Polarity reminds you confidence and doubt are two currents of the same force. Mastery lies not in erasing doubt, but in holding it while still taking action. Even love and hate, emotions that seem to be worlds apart, are deeply linked. As we saw earlier, the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. This is why deep emotional bonds can swing between joy and frustration. It's the same energy, expressed in different forms. In daily life, polarity shows up in your habits, your goals, your setbacks. Think of success and failure. We chase success, yet fear of failure grips us so tightly, it can paralyze progress. Hermeticism teaches these are not enemies. They are interwoven forces. Every failure contains the seed of wisdom that fuels your next success. Once you understand this, failure no longer feels like an end. It becomes part of the process. Let's look at a real-world example. James, an entrepreneur, faced repeated setbacks early in his career. Each time he failed, he felt crushed, questioning his path. But when he discovered Hermetic teachings, he reframed his experience. He saw that failure wasn't the opposite of success. It was a necessary step toward it. This shift in mindset gave him resilience, and over time, those failures built the wisdom. That made his eventual success sustainable. Polarity also shapes your energy. Some days you feel vibrant, other days drained. Hermeticism reminds you this rhythm is natural. Instead of resisting low-energy days, lean into rest, reflection. When the upswing returns, you rise stronger. In the next part, we'll unlock the secret art of transmutation. How to actively transform one side of a polarity into its opposite, turning challenges into fuel and emotions into power. Because awareness is the first step. But transformation is where true mastery begins. Part 3. Transmutation, turning opposites into power. Understanding polarity is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you learn to transmute, to consciously shift energy from one pole to its opposite. This is the secret art of inner alchemy. Let's start with a simple truth. Emotions are energy in motion. And energy, according to Hermetic law, can be changed, redirected, elevated. Your job is not to suppress a feeling, but to transform it. Step 1. Observe without judgment. When a strong emotion rises, fear, anger, sadness, pause. Instead of reacting, become the observer. Say silently, "This is energy. This is movement. I am watching it unfold." This single act of observation breaks the cycle of unconscious reaction. Step 2. Name its opposite. Ask yourself, what is the positive pole of this emotion? Fear, courage, anger, passion, sadness, compassion. By naming the opposite, you set your focus on transformation, not resistance. Step 3. Shift your state. Take one small, deliberate action that aligns with the positive pole. It's the spark that begins the shift. Feeling anxious? Breathe deeply and step forward. Even if just symbolically. Feeling stuck? Move your body, change your environment. Break the inertia. These tiny actions build real momentum, shifting your state from stuck to empowered. A story of alchemy. Meet Sarah, a speaker crippled by stage fright. Every time she stepped on stage, her hands shook. Her voice faltered. But she learned Hermetic transmutation. Instead of fighting her fear, she observed, breathed into it, and whispered, "This is power in disguise." She reframed her fear as raw excitement, the body's way of preparing for something important. Slowly, speech by speech, fear turned into fuel. Today, she commands rooms with clarity and presence because she mastered the polarity within, the Hermetic mantra. Remember this: all energy is neutral until directed. Your job is to become the alchemist, the one who sees beyond surface emotion and taps into the deeper current of power. In daily life, you can practice transmutation everywhere. Turn irritation into clarity by asking, "What lesson is this moment teaching me?" Turn fatigue into rest by honoring your body's rhythm. Turn doubt into curiosity by exploring what scares you. Each shift, no matter how small, rewires your inner landscape. In the next part, we'll go even deeper, exploring the illusion of opposites and how rising to a higher perspective dissolves duality altogether, because true mastery isn't just about shifting between opposites. It's about rising above them. Part 4, the illusion of opposites. Polarity teaches us that everything has two sides, light and dark, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. But here's the deeper truth. These opposites are an illusion. At the highest level of awareness, duality dissolves. What once seemed like conflict reveals itself as harmony in disguise. A coin has two faces, heads and tails. They seem opposite, but are inseparable. Without one, the other cannot exist. But rise above the coin, and you see, it's a single object, complete and whole. This is the secret Hermetic masters understood. Opposites only exist at the surface level of reality. Nature whispers this truth everywhere. Take a wave in the ocean, it rises and falls. It crests and crashes. We label its parts. Upward, downward, strong, weak. But step back, and you see, it's all one wave, one movement of water, one unfolding of energy. Inside you, fear and courage are not separate. They are two ends of the same energy, your joy and your grief, both expressions of your heart's depth. When you rise above labels, you see that they are all movements of life force flowing through you. Let's explore a real-life example. Carlos, a writer, faced deep creative blocks. He saw his struggle as failure, the opposite of inspiration. But through Hermetic study, he began to see the block, not as an enemy, but as part of the same creative cycle. His resistance was pressure, building energy below the surface. Instead of fighting it, he embraced stillness, trusting the rhythm, and sure enough, a breakthrough came. Stronger, clearer, because he allowed both poles to do their work, the path of transcendence. The ultimate mastery of polarity is not in bouncing between extremes, but in stepping beyond them, into a place of inner stillness. This is the neutral point, where opposites merge and you rest in pure awareness. In this state, peace is not dependent on circumstances. You no longer need to control the outer world because you are anchored in something deeper, the silent field, where all opposites arise and dissolve. A simple practice. When you feel torn between two extremes, close your eyes. Visualize the two poles, for example, fear and courage, as points on a line. Now imagine yourself rising above that line, seeing both points from a higher view. Breathe into the space between them. Feel yourself resting in pure awareness, the still center where no polarity can disturb you. In the next part, we'll explore how to fully embody this mastery, living beyond duality, navigating life's storms, with unshakable inner peace and power, because true freedom begins the moment you realize the game of opposites was yours to transcend all along. Part 5. Living Beyond Duality. You've now seen the dance of opposites, light and dark, joy and pain, success and failure. But the true quest is not to be caught between them. It's to rise above. This is what it means, to live beyond duality. At first, this sounds impossible. We live in a world of contrast. We feel emotions rise and fall. We face wins and losses. But Hermetic wisdom reveals you are not the waves. You are the ocean beneath. Your true self is not swayed by the highs and lows. It observes, it holds, it transcends. How do you live this truth? In the chaos of daily life, it begins with a shift in identity. Instead of saying, "I am angry," say, "I notice anger arising within me." This subtle shift reminds you, you are not the feeling. You are the vast awareness holding it. The moment you step into the observer's seat, polarity loses its grip. Next, embrace the neutral point. Each day, take a few moments to sit in stillness. Close your eyes, feel the pull of emotions, thoughts, tensions, then breathe into the center of it all. Allow both poles to exist without choosing sides. In this practice, you'll taste a deeper calm, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Another tool, compassionate detachment. When conflicts arise at work, in relationships, or even within yourself, pause. Ask, what is the deeper lesson here? How can I rise above reaction and choose clarity? This doesn't mean you suppress emotions, it means you respond. From a place of grounded power, a story to inspire, Lena, a healthcare worker, was overwhelmed by the endless polarity of her job. Hope and loss, joy and grief, healing and death. She felt torn apart until she began to practice Hermetic living. Each morning, she grounded herself in stillness, reminding her soul, "I am the witness." When emotions rose, she felt them fully, but didn't lose herself in them. Over time, she became a pillar of calm, a source of strength for her patients and her team. Her outer circumstances stayed the same, but her inner mastery changed everything. This is the path of the modern Hermetic master, feeling deeply but not drowning, acting powerfully but not grasping, living fully but from a place of spacious awareness. The great secret. Duality isn't something to escape, it's something to embrace and transcend, until it becomes your fuel for awakening. Because when you live beyond polarity, you become untouchable, rooted in a peace that nothing can shake, and that is true freedom. Final CTA. You've now unlocked the Hermetic key to polarity, the hidden law that governs every challenge, every emotion, every transformation. But the path of mastery is far from over, because once you understand duality, the next step is learning how to harness the most powerful tool of all, your mind. In the next episode, we dive deep into the ancient art of mental alchemy, transforming thoughts into power. You'll discover how every thought you hold shapes your reality, and how to transmute mental blocks into unstoppable momentum. Prepare to decode the science of thought, the magic of focus, and the ancient techniques that turn your mind into the ultimate tool of creation. True power doesn't come from controlling the outer world. It comes from mastering the world within,